Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our webinar on planning solutions, local authority planning solutions. Kieran Kerr here, General Manager with IMGS, and working in the background, nice and quietly, is Tanya McDonald, who's our marketing exec.
Hi, everyone.
We're just about to get ready. We're maybe a minute to go, so we're just making sure everything's good to go, and then we'll start the session. Okay, just finish my biscuit and then we get going. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome on this wet morning. Well, it's wet morning in Ireland. I know we have a few international attendees on the line as well. So this morning we want to talk about our local authority planning solutions, which are a combination of both hexagon and safe software technologies. So the agenda for this morning's presentation is we're going to look at Map Enterprise and how you can actually capture our planning records in Map Enterprise and our latest release of the planning data capture workflow that we've developed inside Map Enterprise. Then we're also going to show you our latest planning portal, which is an accessible public portal that allows you to share planning application data to the citizens and to the public. And then we'll also show you how with Map Enterprise you can create BI dashboards. And then finally, we're going to talk about FME and what we also can do with FME with helping do automate analysis, for pre-planning requests and planning reports, to doing alerting and also reporting in FME. So I hope we take about 40 minutes to go through everything we've got this morning. So first thing is we're going to talk about Map Enterprise. And Map Enterprise is a modern platform that provides functionality for every user in your organization, whether that's simple dashboard or analytics capabilities for managers to advanced analytics, the specialists, the field crews, and GIS experts. Map Enterprise provides a one-stop shop for all that functionality. And in Map Enterprise, we have worked inside the rich client to develop a planning data capture tool to capture planning application requests. So the core functionality of this tool is, first off, integration with Irish planning systems such as iPlan, APAS, and document management in iDocs. And also then speed and accuracy. Naturally, the capture of a planning application polygon must be accurate. And as this is a web-based system, it's important that we provide snapping and trace capabilities to allow users to snap to underlying OSI data and also snap to existing planning applications and be able to query against multiple layers to get you spatial reporting and also be able to copy from an existing planning record or a prime to or ordnance survey partial. Our workflows are configured inside the workflow manager, which allows you to create now these workflows locally to ensure the solution stays relevant and as the business process changes. And I won't show it as a video. I'll take my life into my own hands and I'll jump out and give you a demonstration of this. The first thing I'm going to do is close my Outlook because people will be trying to email me and contact me during the webinar. So if I go to the internet, I can go into Map Enterprise. So this is a test Map Enterprise that we have in our own environment. I'll refresh it. And the first thing you'll see when you go into Map Enterprise is it provides you with a list of apps that have been set up under your logon details, under your role. And in here we've got a BI app, we've got a dashboard, we've got a public browser. But the main one we want to show at this point is the desktop. So we want to go into the rich client. And in the rich client, which runs under Java, and it's the open Java now. Previously, it was the Oracle Java version, but that has now encouraged a lot of licensing issues. So Oracle are now charging for it. So all companies are moving away from the Oracle version. And Hexagon have developed their own Java app launcher, which has no dependencies in any third-party organizations. So once Map Enterprise fires up, you'll see inside the app, the Java will fire up and we can launch into the client. And from a user's point of view, the way we set it up is the user can actually log on and see all the planning applications that need to be captured themselves and be able to capture them one by one, and then edit the data. So we've created a create, a capture, edit workflow, as well as being able to search. This environment is running on our Azure test environment. So Map Enterprise, one of the most powerful things for Map Enterprise is it has the ability to be run on-premise. So you can install it on your own organization, or you can put it in the cloud. So actually it's really down to your own IT architecture and infrastructure. As you can see here, as the map starts up, we've got planning data turned on. We have background mapping coming in from OSI Map Genie, and the system is really easy to use. So I've got my navigation tool, so I can navigate into nav in here. You can see the map is coming back nice and quick. I can zoom in again, and the data will turn on and refresh as I zoom in. With Map Enterprise, we've got two options for caching data. So we can cache dynamically, or we can cache in advance. I think this server is set up, because it's on Azure, we just set it up to cache dynamically. So once you pan once, then the map is captured. And then once I've zoomed in, you can see we've got the planning records there. And on the left-hand side, you can see we have our legend, where you can turn on and off different features. And we've got our background map and vector data and any other mapping we want to have. We've also got this little group here called querying. That's really useful, because what we use that for is we've set it up that when somebody captures a planning application, that you can run a query against that feature, and it will query whatever features are in this little group called querying. So that means if you want to add in special areas of conservation, protection zones, monuments, whatever it is, you can configure and add these to this legend, put them in the querying layer, and when we run the query report up here on a planning application, those features will be captured. But the first thing I want to do is do a new planning capture. So I can click on the new button. Now again, this is our Azure instance, so it turns itself off every night just to save money. So first time in the morning when it's run, the first query to the database always takes a few more seconds just to come back. And up pops our little tool. Now this is the sample data we've been given. So we've got a lot of old planning applications that are were provided by Meath County Council that haven't been captured yet in our system, but naturally have been captured in real life. So if I pick a record here, so say DA401, you can see it instantly queries and retrieves the iPlan data. The iPlan data is read-only, so it just shows you the information. And now I can decide I want to capture a point. So I want to capture the planning point, and this is the way we've set this workflow up. So I can now capture a planning point. I'll put it at the center of this building, and you can see I can snap. Also, as I'm moving, the coordinates are changing, and I can place anywhere where I want to. And we have little tools. We want to place an exact descending ordering. We can type that in, or an angle, or whatever accurately you want to do. I'm going to place here, and it places the point, and now I save. And that's captured. And now, as part of our workflow, it says, okay, we've got the planning point, but we want to capture the site now as well. So I capture site, and I can draw my site. So again, I'm going to draw the site around here. You can see the snapping is kicking in, and I've got my polygon. Okay, not the best digitizer in the world, but I've captured. So I've now captured my little polygon. It saves, and it's now saved to the system. So you now see we've now captured our planning application. So you can see as well, any of the features I hover over, I get a tooltip. So I get the file number, and automatically Map Enterprise has calculated the square meter of the area of the application site. So this is something we do in the background to let you know, so you can actually see the square meterage. If I right-click on an existing record, you can see I've got a copy, delete, edit site geometry, and a view site. So if I go to a view site, it will bring up the information, and in here I have now got my link to iPlan, which I can fire up. And naturally, I don't think it's going to work in here because we're not in Meath County Council. And I got a link to iDocs. So again, all configured through the workflow. So you can actually see the information, and there's, oh, actually it's the public site, there's the planning data. So we're able to pass out the record and see the record and see the information. Then if I go back to my workflow, I've also, if I click on the record, I've got edit site geometry. So if I want to edit that polygon, I can edit it. Refresh here. If I wanted to, say, take that corner and pull it, I can make changes. It's gone into radius mode, but anyway, I can then make a change. So by setting up there, I forgot to turn off. So you can make a change to the polygon, save the data, and then it's saved. Yeah, it shouldn't be doing that. Yeah, so a little issue there with one we need to look at on that workflow. So I can make changes to the edits, and I can edit the record. We've also got, when we click on a record, we can delete a site and we can query layers. So when we run the query button, it'll actually show what features and what layers from the database that were in the query legend are available. Now at this point there's none, but it'll list off all those functionalities. So again, you don't have to go away and run a complex query or query steps to find what planning applications this, or what other data this planning application intersects. That's all covered for you in the application. We've also got lots of tools. This is a very rich client, so we've got lots of tools to support the user. So if needs be, you can actually, again, this little bar's in the way, move it down. We can use measurement tools. So we can measure, and we can draw on the screen, and we've got all sorts of red line tools and measure tools. So we can do redlining, we can do measurements. So I could do an orthogonal here, put it on the screen and move it down, and put whatever kind of construction aids you want to have on the screen to help you with your capture. So when you are editing and capturing data on the map, it makes it really easy. And we can also put measurements on the map, so a measure point. We've got all different types of selection tools, and we have the ability to print the map, but also take a snapshot. So if I wanted to take, cancel that printing, if I wanted to take a snapshot, without a scale bar, fire up Word, and blank. Oh, something I forgot to say at the start, paste. You can see I can take a map and put it into Word or into a PowerPoint or whatever I want to do. So we have lots of tools inside the planning application, inside the workflow as well. And then once I'm happy, I can remove all my red lines. Remember where that command was gone now. So you can take them all off, but they're here, working level, and you can just say hide, and away they go. Okay. So again, if we zoom out, we zoom out here and back out a bit as the data come on. Next thing I can actually do is I can create, if I wanted to put a planning application at say it was in a future date and I wanted to add a planning application to this site, I can go to my record here. I can pick another one, let's say DA4015. So that's the one I want. And I capture point. And I put the point this time inside over here. Hit save. And that's closed. But this time I'm not going to capture site because I don't want to have to rework it. And what I'll do is, oh, let's set to there. Set it active. And I'll go copy. So I'm going to copy that polygon. And this time I'm going to copy it to D405 which is there, and actually the system here on this side will only show records that actually have points captured for them. So there has to be a point existing. And I create copy, and now it's actually created a second planning boundary at this location, which is linked to this point. So again, save me having to do a double capture. And if I right click now and go query layers, you'll see we have now got the additional point and polygon is at that location. So we captured the extra one. So it's now drilling down. So this is really good from a historical point of view, where you could have lots of planning applications historically at the one site, particularly in urban areas where you could have multiple applications at the one site boundary. The system will automatically drill down and show the tooltip for the latest record, for the most up-to-date record. So again, I hover, it's a DA 40415, and the area in square meters is there as well. Again, on the actions, all configured through the workflow manager, you see we've our copy, we've our delete, and we've the added site geometry in the query. Up here, we've also got a search bar, so we can do a filter and search for any application. So again, if I just want to take 87180 or 871, apply filter, 8710, like filter, it shows the record. Or if I just want to look for a type, a description, if I just want to see all extensions, you can see extensions or whatever type, and I can reset the filter. If I want to look for, this time look for extension, I filter. You can see now we've only got extensions, and then you can look at the record and see it on the map, and it will show on the map. So we've got this nice report that allows you to filter down and also allows you to see the data on the map. You can also export that data out to Excel. Also, we have a nice little query button here that the guys developed by accident, which is also a bit funny. Wasn't meant to be a requirement, but we did it. So it gives you a query, the ability to query for any applications that's on the current map. So again, if you just want to see the current planning applications in the map window, it'll do that. And we've also got an audit trail function, which can be assigned to certain roles to your administrator. So it shows who did what work when. And it gives a full audit trail so you can track and quality control all your data. So you can see with the planning workflow, really easy to use, very accurate, and very fast capture. So again, speeds all that work up. And again, the level of training for a user using the rich client for this kind of workflow is, a couple of hours, as opposed to being trained in a desktop GIS or CAD tool, which could take a week. So a great improvement in that sense. One thing I forgot to mention is if you have questions, there is a question panel, so you can actually post any questions you have at any stage, and we'll answer them at the end. Okay, hide this again. Okay, so that's the planning workflow. Then the next thing is having the ability to, once you have your planning applications data captured, being able to publish that data. So with the new public portal that we've built on top of Map Enterprise, it's accessible. It can run on a desktop, tablet, and mobile. It has advanced search, so you can do address, air code, or planning reference. And again, it has that full integration with public-facing websites like ePlan and iPlan. So when you click on a record, it'll bring up that data. The big thing with this portal is it's all configurable through Map Enterprise. So inside the Map Enterprise Studio, you can actually set up the layers, set up the features, and style everything. So you don't have to be able to program. You don't have to be able to know how to code. So you can see here is the demo. So you can see the same data. Once the data is captured in the Map Enterprise portal, like we did earlier on, it will then be instantly available, assuming they're all on the one database server. instantly available inside the public portal. And of course, the public portal could be used internally as well. So it could be used for the, for managers or whatever in department who actually want to be able to see the data on their phones or on their tablets without having to go into the full application. So now the record is captured in the rich client, and then it's immediately available on a refresh inside the web client. So you can see that new record has now been made available. And then once it's there, you can hover on it, tooltip, click link out to any website, and that will work as well. Okay. So again, fully designed to be easily integrated into your corporate web page and easy to use. With Map Enterprise as well, we have the ability to create dashboards so that you can rapidly disseminate data, create these nice BIs and graphics, and aid faster informed decision making. So being able to create these dashboards with execs love to be able to see the information. So that's to show the studio side of Map Enterprise. So again, if I go back to my web page, you'll see we have, I think it's this one, we have our planning BI. I think. Probably this one. Right on up. One, it'll be up in a second. Yeah, that's done. Yes. So wrong one. I was right first time. So you can see here we've got the same data. We've got the applications we had before, and we've got our extensions and new homes. So if I click on extension, the map changes, the number of record changes. If I click on the condition chart here, I can filter out. If I want to pick new homes again, if I click on a cluster, the map will zoom in and show out them records and show all the applications that are captured. So really, really nice way to set up to view your data. So as you can see with your information, you can see all the data. You can see how quick the map refreshes and zooms, and we have our information. I've gone way too far, and we've got some. So you can see the speed of the application, and you can see the information coming in, and we can. That condition one doesn't do anything. The average conditions, so it's just a dumb chart, right? And these are very easy to configure and to set up. And again, or if I wanted to look for a certain record, hit apply, and it'll just show that one record, and I can take it off the map as well. The other side of the Map Studio, if I go up here and I switch the path here, and I go out of apps, but go into Studio and go in as an administrator, you can see some of the things that we've set up to get that demo. Let me just get my username and password. Don't look too quick. And in we go. So first off, you might be interested in seeing the content. And remember, we had that data capture workflow. So we have our workflow. So here's the planning, which we can actually go in and edit if we want to. So if we want to add in new fields, we want to change the on-click events, whatever we need to do, we can actually do it. So you can see it's all drag and drop. So you can see the audit trail, you can see the search, we can see the planning capture, we can see the edit geometry. So the copy. So if I want to look at the copy one, or very simply just want to look at the capture planning record, which is actually look at copy. So the copy too, or any of the features are there. So the capture site, so site capture, click in on that one, and you can see how we're bringing in the iPlan data, how we're setting it up, what way we want the feature to work, what the form is going to be, what button's going to happen on the button, is it a capture, what's it going to call. All of this is configurable inside the Map Enterprise Studio. Again, if you wanted to set up your feature data on the map, you just add the data in, say what scale you wanted to have it on, what table it comes from the database, Everything is driven through the application. The same, the features that we wanted to see on the public portal, granted planning data, you can color them. In the style set, you can set up the planning master style. I click on it, and you can see we've got our colors. And if I want to look at the granted, take a second to come back. And the style is there. So everything is configurable through the GUI, through the studio. You can set up the different apps, desktop, web, and mobile. Set up the styling, set up the features, and no need for programming. So, you know, what happens when you click on a feature? What color is it when it's selected? What color is it highlighted? Everything is done through the GUI. So really, really useful. And again, on the browser side, we have our BI map, analyzer views. So if you want to be able to configure the dashboard, you just go in here and set which layers you want to do, what graphics you want to use. Everything configurable through the application. Security-wise, same thing. What users, what accounts, what roles do they have? All done through the studio. So really, really powerful tool. So the second part of our demo, we're going to focus on FME and what FME can help on the planning side. So the first thing is when a pre-planning request comes in, FME can provide a alert portal or a portal that allows members of the public go in and make requests or pre-planning requests so they can get their own reports. It has an advanced search and an integrated is built on top of FME server, so there's no coding required. And just to show you that, so you can see this is an example where the customers are using the open portal. I think it's down in Wexford. Oops, just a bit slow starting. Okay, so the user can zoom into an area, specify the area of interest that they're looking at. So draw in a polygon. Type in their name and their email address. Okay, and they can actually type that in, and then what happens in the background is FME server is now called, and it is sent off, and it will generate the email, and from that email, so once you've captured your data, it will generate the email and build a report, and that report is then sent to the user. Okay, and then in the report we'll see all the querying, the planning applications, doing the spatial filter, doing the report. So I'll show you that back to the previous screen. Building these kind of canned reports using FME to build the report to, you know, check is the planning application in the right development zone, to check is there heritage areas or areas of conservation or flooding zones. Being able to automate that request so that someone is then told this is the chance of you getting planning in that area, using a standard reporting, using a standard layout, and then that is published out. We also take that another step with our planning and alert portal, which allows you to publish again via the portal we showed you earlier on, to publish your planning applications, but to take the level of interaction to another level by using FME. So with FME server, somebody can register their area of interest for planning application notices, specify it through the portal and say, okay, this is where I want to know about anything behind my house, anything near me. If someone's getting a planning application in this area, let me know. So they can actually go into the web portal, submit their area of interest. That's then sent to the database, and then FME server, whenever a new planning application comes in, will query the system, check who has registered, and then send them notifications that there is a planning application in their area, and they can then submit, and they'll get automatic updates. And this could be by email. It could also be by a text or Twitter or whatever way you want to use your notifications. This can all be done inside the portal. And then once that's done, the emails are automatically sent out. Also with the FME, we're able to create planning reports on demand and scheduled. So we're able to allow reports to be created in things like PDF, Word, Excel, so that when the information comes in from the system, that it's actually captured in the reports can be automatically generated and remove the need for that manual analysis. So actually to automate all these queries that could take hours to run, going into MapInfo or going into Esri or whatever and doing these things manually, with FME you can automate all these spatial queries, automate the generation of these reports, which also then provide proof that A, the report has been done, and B, make sure the technician, the planning technician, has done all the appropriate checks and hasn't forgot anything, because it's 100% automated. So FME is really, really useful for generating those kinds of automatic reports. Okay, so in this morning session, we've done a real quick whirlwind tour to show you the set of modern planning tools we have that can turn planning data into actionable information and proactively engage with citizens to help them empower and self-serve. I think that's about us. I think that's about it from us. I think there was one question which came in, which was around the browser support for the portal. Well, the portal, I think, will run on all modern browsers. So we don't run on the old version of Internet Explorer. We do run on Edge, Chrome, and on Firefox. And I think there's one other question just after coming in. Does Map Enterprise support file formats? Actually, that's a good question. The 2019 version, which I think was put up for download last week, now includes Fusion, Lucid Fusion. So Lucid is a 3D company, 3D GS company that Hexagon bought in the last 2 years. The Lucid 3D functionality is now added to Map Enterprise, so there's now a 3D version of Map Enterprise. But with it, Lucid has a product called Fusion, which is used for cataloging, and in it, it supports now access to MapInfo, Shape, Point Cloud, all these different file formats, because previously, up with the 2018 version before, Map Enterprise only supported SQL Server databases, Oracle and PostgreSQL. So now with the Fusion component in the 2019 release, it can actually talk to all these file formats as well, which is pretty cool. Any other questions, Tanya?
No.
That's it? Okay, well, I'd like to thank everybody for taking your time out this morning to hear our webinar. If you need any more information, please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Tanya or to Garrett, who's off having a day off and relaxing. And I hope you enjoyed the webinar and I hope you have a good day. Thank you.
Thank you all. Take care.